So continuing on from last video where we created a Maven project, we used some library called OKIO or OKHTTP, and we grabbed the current Google Trends from this Google Trends app, and we got this big string of JSON data back, but it's not formatted in JSON, so it kind of looks bad. I was thinking what we'll do for this video, we'll go through the whole process of figuring out like what kind of a JSON library to use. So what we have so far is just this small piece of code. We'll run this again just to make sure it works. Yep, still working. And we have a dependency for this square OKHTTP library. We threw commons lang in there just for fun. It's not really doing anything. So let's go back to Google. I actually started Googling Java JSON library just to show you. This is actually my process. I would do this, and I happen to know JSON.org has a big list. This is Douglas Crockford's website. He's the guy that invented JSON, or came up with the whole like spec for JSON, I guess. But you can see there's a whole bunch of Java libraries for JSON. And another one that I looked at was JSON, which is a Google JSON library. So this is actually made by Google. We're on GitHub, and it says you can see the Google open source projects on here, and this one has a decent reputation. You can see it's got 6,000 stars, which is a lot for GitHub. So I would say we should go ahead and try and use this. What we've got here is a Maven Central link. So I'm going to click this link, and it's giving me a link. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this dependency. We're going to go back. I'm going to throw it in here, save it. You're going to see over here, this is going to be pretty cool. All of these are going to update, and this Google code is going to update. So I'm going to hit save, and there it is, downloaded immediately almost. So how do we use this? Now, I actually have no idea how to use this, so we're just going to try and figure this out, and it'll be kind of like just kind of my thought process and how we're going to do this. So I'm going to say we need to find some documentation out, right? So we have no idea what it or how to do it or how this thing works at all, but I do know I have a string, and I want to turn it into JSON data and then display it. So if we look this first sentence here, it says provide to JSON and from JSON. I think what we want to do is this to JSON here. So let's do that. And I think we're going to go straight to this user guide that looks pretty good. Let's see what we've got here. So using JSON with Maven, I think we already figured that out. Let's go back. Let's see. What we want to do is parse JSON. So let's see if we can find parse JSON.from JSON. Okay, we want to JSON, right? So, okay, we've got primitive object examples. Let's just check out and see. So what this is doing, this is going to JSON from a string. I don't think that's what we want to do. So obviously JSON, if you're not familiar with what it looks like, it's JavaScript object notation, and let's see if we can find an example. You know what? Let's take this. Let's just take this output and format it to JSON. There's some kind of online JSON formatter. Dump this in here, hit process. As you can see what this should look like actually. We've got numbers in here. So these actually look like they should be sorted or something. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get that working once we've got this formatted into a JSON object. Yeah, check it out. So it's just a representation format. It's JavaScript object notation, and obviously that's a different language than Java. So we're going to have some kind of there's going to be some overhead and going back and forth between them. So we have to think a little bit harder about that. All right. So there must be some way to parse from a string. That is what we want. So let's check out, that didn't help me very much. It gave me a lot of stuff about objects, but what I have is a string and I want to parse it into objects. I don't want to go back the other way. So here's some examples. It looks like Java to JSON and back, Java to JSON and back. Serializing and deserializing. So it looks like we have to get a little bit more complicated with this. It's not going to just give us generic objects, maybe. Let's see if we can find something else in Google. Let's do JSON string to JSON with no POJO. So POJO stands for plain old Java object. There we go. This looks like a winner. Something like this. Let's try this out. We're going to comment this out because I don't want to print all that text just straight to the console. JSON parser, that should be in here now since we've got Google. Yeah, JSON object, that should also be in here. Parse, we're going to get rid of this and we're going to put in that string result. And we'll see what happens when we print this out here. Okay, much better. So it actually formatted that Unicode for us. We've got some Arabic, we've got some Cyrillic. That's looking much better. Let's use some, I'm not sure what that is. Okay, cool. So it looks like we've got an object with some lists in it. Now the question is, how do we actually get into that object? That's going to be interesting. So what is on this object? Looks like we've got get as JSON array, get as So it looks like we've got some kind of a map essentially, and then inside that there are arrays. So I wonder if we can do some kind of map. So it kind of the structure kind of looks like map, and then inside of map are arrays. So the key is a number, and the value is an array, and then these are all big maps. Kind of from what I saw here too, we've got numbers as keys, and then values as an array, and that's all in a huge map. So let's keep looking here. I wonder if there's some kind of map. Entry set, that looks pretty interesting. That might give us every key. Let's try that. let's give that a look, because it looks like we could grab them by member name, but we don't necessarily know what they are. They just look like numbers. So let's try for sorry, what was it? Entry set. So it should be an entry for entry. Maybe that's it. Yeah, string JSON element. Entry in o.entry set. Okay. And let's see if we can just print this out. Let's see what we get. I'm going to say entry.getKey and entry.getValue. I'm going to comment this one out too. So let's run this. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected we would get. So we've got the key and then we've got the value. Looks good. So what I want to do is sort this. So let's think about this. We want to kind of sort this map because we've got these all out of order. I'd actually like to see what the #1 trending thing is, right? So this is the #1 trending thing, but I want to be able to find that easily. So what I'm going to say is tree map, and it'll be string, and then I think it'll be a list of strings. Tree map, that's a java.util.map, and I'm not sure if list is in here. Java util list, and this will be our trends, and this is going to be a tree map. Yeah, that looks good. So what a tree map does, it actually sorts by the keys. So this is going to do like some kind of clever stuff for us. And then the only trick I need to do here is parse these into arrays. But I think what I can do, entry.getValue.get as JSON array. Yeah, so somehow we're gonna have to iterate over this, I think. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm gonna make an inner list. So I'll say here's my string key equals entry.get key, and then I'll say here's my string. Whoops, this will be a list of string. This will be my entry or values. Let's call them values. We'll say entry or new array list. That should be fine. And what is this? A JSON element. So we're gonna loop again over this stuff. So I hope you're seeing just how confusing this stuff can be, because I have no idea. .get. I have no idea, like, going into this, what I was going to get out of here. So this is kind of the actual real process we've got going on here. An iterator. Yeah, so I can't just throw an iterator in here, unfortunately. I can't iterate. I might be able to just iterate over this, though, is the thing. Yeah, okay. So I can just iterate right over this. So this will be element. All right, JSON element. Let's print out this JSON element. I'm gonna, so let's just clean some of this stuff up, clean this up, clean this up. I'm gonna comment these out. Well, we'll keep the key, we'll just comment out the values. And what I'm expecting to see is a string here. I want to see something like a string. So let's just run this, see what we get. Yep, looks good. This is exactly what I wanted. So what I wanted to do is just get the single string out of the array. So now I can kind of cast that into a string. We'll call that a trend, and we'll say element dot get as string, and I think that'll do the trick here. We'll say our values dot add, and I'll say trend. Okay, and what I'm actually doing here, I've got a key, I've got the values, so this key is like the number here, and this oh, you know what, let's change this to an integer so that we can do that actually. And I'm gonna say integer dot parse int. Yeah. So the number is going to be the key, that'll be an integer, and then the value will be a list of strings. It'll be, so each of these has a list of strings, and what I'm doing, I'm creating a new list of strings, and then I'm adding each string, so I'm adding each one of these into this list, and now at the end of this I'm going to say trends dot put, and I'll put my key with my values. Good. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we're gonna just print out this trends and see what it looks like. And I'm gonna comment out this also. So run as again. There we go. So key 1 should see key 2, key 3. Awesome. So let's check this out. Let's say, and I'm actually not sure, maybe these are regions. Not 100% sure what's going on here, but let's make this a little cleaner. We'll say for, yeah, let's do integer key in trends.keyset. And we'll just print out the top one from each region, I guess. I'm not sure what this is, so we'll say key plus key, and we'll say top trend, and we'll say trends.get, and of course this is a map, so you get by the key, and we'll say dot get 0 because that's a list, so we're going to get the first thing in the list. So let's see what that looks like now. We're going to delete these because I think we're done. Everything looks like it's parsing correctly, so let's print this stuff out now. Cool. So these must be regions or states or something. Top trend here, and then there's numbers missing. That's interesting. 1, 3. Very interesting. Yeah, I have no idea how this API works. I found it on a node library called hottrends.js, I guess, or Google Trends API. So I don't actually even know how this works, but we just parsed this JSON. We got it. We parsed it in objects. We got the keys. We sorted the keys. We got the top trend for each key. We could even go further. Really, we could keep doing this. Top trend 2, top trend 1. You could say get the one after that. See, it seems like they're regions because these Chinese things seem like they're going together, and the Korean thing seems like they're going together. The Arabic seems like it's going together. I feel like these are different countries or regions or something. This seems pretty like pretty much like America. Seems like England maybe. Looks like Israel perhaps. Okay, anyway, so this is kind of just going from not knowing anything about how to do this. I researched and found a library, and I had this API, so I pulled in the library, kind of figured out how the library works. We did everything with Maven. I mean, so this is just kind of like just to show you the thought process of doing this, how to research and how to kind of like iteratively discover and figure out how things work when you're trying to use a new library. So thanks for watching.